Welcome to the first episode of Loose Change. I'm here with Jacob, Steffan, and Mohamed, and my name is Basil. And so this is going to be kind of a personal finance slash a little bit of dabble of real estate, because that's what Steffan and I kind of started with, and we're going to start talking about that later on in a few episodes. We're going to start off with personal finance and kind of the discipline and mindset you need to be in to set yourself up for success and set yourself up in the future for a life that you won't have to really struggle financially, hopefully. And I guess today we're going to talk about our New Year's. So it's January, what is today? January 7th? Something like that. So yeah, first week of the year, first week of the new year, the new decade. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good year for us. And we're going to kind of talk about our New Year goals, our strategies for the year, kind of what we're working on, how our year was. So yeah. I guess we'll start off with that. So Jacob, if you you can start off with
my goals for the year, or what?
Yeah, goals for the year. How was your year last year? What was your 2019 like?
2019 was pretty alright. I mean, I achieved, I would say, 75% of my goals.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not a bad number.
I don't put too many goals on myself because obviously I be realistic with mine. But other than that, 2020 is looking bigger than 2019 in terms of goals. If I actually achieve all of them, do you want me to mention my goals?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Go ahead. In terms of like physical, like not attainable, they're all attainable, but like goals that I want to get that are materialistic. So getting my level 1 CFA.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What's a CFA?
Financial analyst.
Yeah. So
Okay.
getting that in December. Then I started my YouTube channel already, so you guys already seen that. Help you guys with the podcast and grow the media on the real estate as big as possible. So physical numbers, that's between us. We don't have to let the viewers know. And yeah, that's what's looking. I don't know. Obviously, graduating school.
Yeah, finishing school. Yeah, that is more than one.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Okay, so for me, 2019 was a year of growth for sure, and hopefully 2020 is a year of more growth, I hope. But start of 2019, it was weird for me. Like I didn't really understand. I didn't really have a goal, or wasn't even in this mindset where I wanted to kind of achieve something specific or had steps for myself to achieve something specific. Near the end of it, obviously, as I got more involved with you guys and learning more about real estate, financial literacy, kind of getting myself into the zone, to just kind of just moving on in my life and how to get ahead with my life. I started achieving a lot more of my goals, started taking steps forward. We ended off the year. If you guys don't know what I do, I'm a wholesaler helping Basil and Steffan out 42 Capstone.
You had a good end of the course.
I did.
When did you start that again?
That was like when I first started like fully generating leads and everything like that. That was honestly only like maybe midway through October. I want to say midway through October, and then I really kind of, once I came back from the UK, that's when I kind of doubled down and I was like, okay, let's get this going, and ended off the year with a couple of very, very, very significant leads. So let's just hope for the best. We're looking like we have a big start for 2020. Goals, materialistic goals to continue on that trend for 2020 is I want to a certain amount of money that I want to make through wholesaling itself. Second of all is you guys know I want to lock down my first property under my own name, whether that's a rental property, whether that's for my family, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of details with that. And then in terms of growth itself, I want to set myself up. I just seeing how I set myself up from 2019 going to 2020 in just that short period of time, that end of that. Now I'm thinking to myself, imagine if I did that with the last quarter of 2020, 2019, sorry. I have 4 quarters of 2020 to set myself up for 2021 to be even greater. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be achieving a lot of my goals in 2020 and getting even bigger with that.
So for the people who, obviously we're going to talk more in detail this in later episodes, and because we're going to get into more detail in real estate and all that stuff. But for people who don't know, do you want to just explain high level kind of wholesaling, what that really means?
Okay. Yeah, just to break it down kind of fundamentally, the term wholesaling itself is used for grabbing something and selling it off for and making your money within. But
Margins, the profits that you're
within the
making.
margins and with assignment fees and stuff like that. Wholesaling in real estate, it's essentially locking down a contract with a seller, a private seller, and then selling that contract off to a investor, a private buyer, whoever, you know what I mean, at that point. And there's something called an assignment fee or APS, which you kind of generate. That's how you generate your money that way. And it's a very, we'll go in, like you said, we'll probably have like a more detail. Hopefully we'll have like a whole thing about wholesaling. But it is a very, very, very good way to get yourself into real estate initially, and to kind of achieve those goals towards your down payment or to those financial goals to make it feasible for you to be an investor in real estate.
No, yeah, people are mind blown when they hear about wholesaling, because I remember I explained it to someone and they were like, oh, wait, you can do that? You can get a contract and then just sell it off to someone?
Because
it's just because it's the same thing as any other wholesale. Literally, it's like people wholesale cars, people wholesale station, people wholesale everything. But when
Costco, man.
Literally everything, you can wholesale anything. But when it gets to houses, people don't understand because it's bigger. It's a big thing, right? So
you're playing with bigger margins. So a lot of people think it's like, I've had so many people ask me to explain what I just explained there, and even probably viewers right now, they're thinking, oh, like there's got to be something like that's not there's either, how a lot of people come up to me and they think it's illegal for some reason. Yeah. So no, it's just, you have to understand that it's not as easy as we're explaining.
No, of course not.
Like he knows, your eyes will bleed looking for deals, your legs will hurt walking around looking for deals, but the fruits of your labor are unlike anything else. You can go 3 months without getting anything, and then that one deal within that 3 months will supplement more than what you would have made at a full-time job.
100%.
For those 3 months. So I hope we're gonna get into it, but that is essentially what wholesaling is in real estate.
Yeah.
Steffan, what's your year looking like?
So 2019 was a huge year for us, I think, for a couple of reasons. So like on the real estate side, we actually jumped into real estate, which is just like unheard of for people our age, right? So I think that was like a big success, and like for a lot of people, just even jumping in itself.
You're good. Let's keep it there. We don't need it anyways.
So for a lot of people, like just actually acting, right? Just actually taking massive action is something that a lot of people do, don't do. It's easier to, chill on your couch and watch Netflix, but actually going out, walking in the cold and doing all that, door knocking, which we had to do starting off, right? Yeah. A lot of people aren't down to actually do the work. So 2019 was a great year for real estate. 2019 was also a great year for myself in terms of my education. I did pass this semester, so
did you? Congratulations.
Small claps in the crowd. Please comment to W for Steffan.
Exactly. Yeah. So in terms of 2020, the goals that I kind of want to set off. So if we're talking about like, kind of materialistic goals or like numbers goals, I definitely want us to buy another like 2 or 3 properties, of course, by the end of this year. Another thing I want us to focus on is this is going to be the year of joint venture partnerships, I think, for us, right? Just because we realize that, for our age, if we really want to grow this real estate investment trust, this company, the way we want it to, it's going to require outside money, right? There's only so much capital that we all can put together, but So another thing for health, I definitely want to start hitting the gym at least twice a week and staying committed to that. Right. And I also want to utilize the people around me to like make me accountable. Right. Because like sometimes I find getting the motivation to like go to the gym after like an 8-hour shift, it's not there. Sure. But then if I have someone behind me being like, yo, Steffan, like, did you actually hit the gym today? Right. At least I can be accountable. So that's materialistic health. And then in terms of like my relationships and stuff, this is going to be a huge year for relationships. I want to get better at just like adding value to people's lives around me, whether it's my family through like knowledge and the financial literacy that we're gaining through this whole investing career. That's one avenue I definitely want to help my family. And then of course you guys, right? So, and the viewers as well. Yeah, that's basically it.
Viewers are the most important in this one, that's why you're watching.
Exactly. Basil?
It's definitely like obviously our goals and what our 2019 looked like was relatively similar in terms of like a professional aspect. Because we started off in I think May is when we May or June is when we brought on our coach and actually started taking this a lot more serious. And then we ended up getting our first property in
August 29th.
August 29th, 4 days after my birthday, which was disappointing.
But
Not gonna lie, I wanted it before I turned 21, but that's okay. And then it just everything just kind of happened really quick, right? It happened so quick. I meant 5 days, by the way.
Yeah, 5 days.
I forgot them. I don't know why I thought my birthday was the 25th.
I was counting on my finger.
I forgot my birthday. I thought my birthday was on 25th. My bad. Anyways, so yeah, it was a big year. It was a big year for us for sure. It was a lot of learning. The thing is, so the difference between Steffan and I, Steffan kind of already had relatively a background in dabbled in real estate before, like financial aspects. So you kind of already knew a lot of the things that were going on. I knew Jack, man. Like I didn't know anything at all. And looking back at May to now, like even just December, like the end of December, there was it was night and day, like compared to what I know before. And literally, like it took a while. Like it took like 7 months of learning, but it was a lot. It was a lot of learning. The end of 2019 was kind of rough, just in general. Just not necessarily like not necessarily professional, but just in general, it was a lot. Just because there was a lot to handle near the end, and my brain kind of was like, "Yo, you need to relax for a little bit, just chill for a second." But I don't mind it because honestly, it helped me. It helped me grow throughout the whole thing, and it made me learn how to pace myself a lot more, which is what I'm gonna try and focus on for 2020. Yeah. But yeah, goals for 2020 are very similar. Like I want to grow this company. I want to make sure that it's legit. I want to make sure that people will be like, oh, I like not heard of. I'm not saying that I want it to come like a big thing, but I mean like I want it to be like, oh yeah, it's 42 Capstone is a thing, right? Yeah. That's my biggest thing, and another one is just just learning what I did at the end of 2019 again about the whole just how my body was just mentally, it was just draining everything. I want to get better at just staying happy throughout the whole year, making sure that I'm pacing myself throughout the whole thing, and relationships is a big thing for me too. I want to make sure that my relationships and what I learned. So when we first started, the relationships that we were building were just like bullshit, like just bullshit relationships that we were building with bullshit people that we.
Do you mean like fake, like just professional relationships?
People that we were just trying to. No, I don't want to say like impress, but like we were just trying to, because we were new, because it was such a big thing that we were like, yo, this is way over our heads. We were trying to build relationships with people that we outside of this would not like, but because it's real estate, we were just, you know network. What I mean? We just had to kind of thing. But I think that come 2020, like now that we're actually in it,
you're genuine.
I think I want to build like more genuine relationships with people that I actually care about, with people that I can actually text and be like, yo, let's go grab a coffee, and not necessarily have to just talk about an offer. Obviously it's nice to be in the same room as people who are interested in the same things you're doing, but it's people who I genuinely want to be around, and not just random people who I'm just trying to impress. I think that's a big thing with relationships. I want it to be more genuine and honest, and not just randoms that I realistically won't care about if they didn't do real estate.
Because why bring those people? Why bring those people any value? You understand how much value you can bring to the table, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
To people you like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's gonna be one of the biggest things for us.
Awesome.
Well, that being said, you kind of touched upon it like towards the end of that, like towards the end of your goals about staying mentally stable and all that. Like towards the end of 2019, you guys have any future plans for? Not in terms of materialistic goals, but like where you are mentally, because that's very important in obviously the longevity of working something like this, right?
Yeah. For me, on my mental game, like I practice meditation at least once a day. Yeah. I use the Breathe app on the iWatch, just like, you know, like if I have 5 minutes in the day, like instead of just focusing on all the stuff that's going on, I'll just put on the Breathe app. I just take 5 minutes to just like do a couple deep breaths, and like I find that like just improves my mental attitude during the day. So meditation in the morning, actually having a morning routine. I put on Joe Rogan's Be Your Own Hero. in the morning. I have it playing as I'm putting on my clothes, just so like I'm amped, right? Yeah. Like,
I didn't know that was
what is that?
Joe Rogan's "Be Your Own Hero." It's like a motivational sort of like speech that he did on one of his podcasts, and someone took it and kind of like threw music around it and like made it like a whole thing,
like one of those movie things. Like,
yeah, exactly. So like I like to wake up.
Get up again.
Another good one is David Goggins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy's amazing too. So like, actually having a morning routine is like crucial for your mental health. Practicing meditation and breathing throughout the day, and then on top of that, like I like the practice of mindfulness and being focused. So actually just being aware of the present, right, and being aware of what's going on around you. Because I think in our day and age we get caught up like always planning. Like, hey, what am I gonna do next? What am I doing tonight? What am I doing in the future? People never actually just like take a second and be like, hey, I'm here. I'm alive right now. Like, let me just take the present in.
And I think that's a very generational thing, to be honest, which is I feel like I've noticed is we've become so like
ADHD.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing with this whole financial thing. That's why we want to focus on the future. But
consumed, I think.
Yeah,
what you're gonna say.
I feel like everyone is just so like everyone is so
short attention span.
Like everyone just wants to do things now and just for tomorrow, and just so focused on everything that's gonna happen later that they're not focused on like today and just how things are going now.
We're consumed. I feel like it's and unfortunately this is not, obviously I don't like to direct blame on anybody, but this is not just a result of us. I feel like it's a result of our society, and just and I think honestly it comes from a good place, because a lot of people our age are understanding that there are some major issues in the world, and you don't have to wait until you're 40 years old and have nothing to offer to make a change about it. And I feel like we're trying to take that responsibility, but on the other hand we have to make sure that our mental health is good.
Okay, so we've talked about materialistic goals. So where do you guys want to see yourself in the next year mentally? Because for the sake of longevity of this, of doing something this big, you need to be stable mentally. So what are your goals mentally?
My goal mentally is number one, to meditate more. I think in this day and age, everyone gets really busy, and just having a chance to pause and reflect inwards, and find that when you're going through trials and tribulations, it's always best to, instead of like look outwards and explode outwards, just actually go and find some center, some balance inside. So meditation for one. Number two, daily morning routines. So like for me, I like to listen to Joe Rogan's "Be Your Own Hero" motivational speech every morning, to the point where like I've actually memorized it, right? And that way it's like I wake up and I'm pumped for life. Like I'm grateful at the fact that I'm alive, because who knows who else like did they get to see this day, right? So every day is like new and unique. So take hold of it.
My mental goals for 2020 is it definitely like it has a little bit to do with what Steffan was saying about meditation. Also, like I've been doing this thing where I've been doing the whole gym thing in the morning at 6 a.m, or whatever. For those of you that know me, like you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a funny thing about me dancing the Mexican music at 6 a.m. or something like that. But it's just I feel like it's a good start of the day. A lot of people say that it helps you physically get your mind and mentally as well, get you set for before you go to work, school, whatever
dancing
it is.
to Mexican music.
No. This guy's stories are ridiculous.
Okay.
No, seriously, check out my Instagram stories at @Mohamed. It's pretty cool. But the specific things I wanted to get into, which is kind of just self-reflection, and I do this a lot, where it's like, anytime I feel like I'm overwhelmed by life or whatever I'm doing, I just sit down and I think to myself, I try to get down to the core reasons why I'm upset or why I'm feeling uneasy. Even if I'm feeling uneasy, something as simple as feeling bad, I'll try to break it down. Because say I'm feeling uneasy because I ate something bad or whatever. Sure, okay, that's just my stomach hurting. But a lot of times, I'm serious. Like you have to assess why, if it's a physical thing, if it's a mental thing. I'm serious.
He wakes up, my stomach's hurting. Okay, why? Let's figure this out.
You want to know something funny? Your stomach actually has your stomach. The way your stomach feel, like your stomach fluids are, if they're not balanced, your pH levels, they affect your mentality right away. Anyways, breaking it down and understanding why you're upset or why you're mad, to the simple point where like you can literally pinpoint like, oh, I'm mad because this person made me mad today. That helps you look at how minuscule and how small that specific situation was in the grand scheme of your everyday or your entire day. And then I want to just make sure to highlight something he said. Every day is a blessing. You never know when your last day is. You never know when your last breath is. You never know when your last, time you talk to anybody is. So don't take it for granted, and definitely like mentally understand that it's a blessing just to even wake up that day and you have a chance to do something. So do it.
My thing for 2020, I kind of talked about it a little bit in like before in the beginning, but 2019 was a rough ending, but that's why things I've kind of adopted are the two things that I'm gonna keep with me for the year and make sure that I'm doing a lot more of is one, journaling is gonna be the biggest thing that I'm probably gonna try and adopt the most. I did do it at the end of the year last year, just because there was a lot going on. I made sure I want to actually write them down on a piece of paper so I can read them back. And again, like you said, like there's some things that obviously it's more for me. Journaling is more of a thing that I use it as my outlet. I use it as a place where I can just zone everyone out of and just write my thoughts on a piece of paper. But again, because another aspect to it is you realize how small your problems actually are. Reading it back, there's some things that I read back and I'm like, does it really matter? Like, no, not at all. It's such small problems. When you write them down on a piece of paper, when you actually read them, you realize how stupid of an issue it really was. And another thing that I do a lot, and I've always done this, and I'm kind of gonna hopefully keep going with, is like talking to myself. And as stupid as that sounds, it's one of those things that just helps me problem solve and helps me just like realize the situation and just helps me calm myself down and just put myself in a mindset of like, okay, if there's an issue, I just talk to myself about it. I'd be like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I just act like I'm talking to someone, but there's no one there. And it's just, and again, it's just as creepy and weird as that sounds, just one of those things that I think that just helps me mentally. But I really do want to meditate. I want to try and keep that a thing. I want to try make that a thing. It's something that I think a lot of people talk about, and it just puts you in a zone of just peace, which I really want to try and be in the year and just for a long time. Because that's basically, at the end of the day, you're going to live, you're going to die, everything's going to come by, everything's going to go away from you. But at the end of the day, if you can make sure that you've lived happily and just peacefully, it doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, whatever, that's all that really matters. And then the gym thing is the thing I want to adopt at 6 a.m. I tried it for 2 weeks. It went really well for 2 weeks, but then I just kind of couldn't be bothered because I was like, I don't really care for the gym anymore. We
did like a little snap thing where that's how we kept tabs on each other. Like, we'd snap each other at the gym or something like that.
Yeah, I like every morning.
We'll start that again.
I'm gonna try and start that, just because I need to put it through my head that, and I think this is gonna build a lot of discipline too. And it's one of those things that's like, I need to put in my head that realistically, if you sleep at 10:30, waking up at 7 and waking up at 6 won't make a difference during the day. But if I wake up at 6, I'm actually able to go to the gym, and that will actually make a difference during the day. Not the extra hour that I sleep, that's really not gonna make a difference. I'm just an idiot. For some reason in my mind, like if I wake up at 7:40 as opposed to 7:20, it's like, oh my god,
I'm gonna be so tired.
It's like, it makes no difference. You literally just need to have the discipline and just be like, yo, just literally step off of your bed and you're gonna feel the exact same way.
Yeah, literally, I told you, first 15 minutes of me being awake, I have to. I don't care if I look like. Well, I go to the gym, by the way. I pray to God none of you catch me at the gym. I look like I just spent the night outside. I look so ugly, man.
The 2 weeks that I went, I literally, all I did was just, I got out of bed, literally put on a sweater, went to the washroom, washed it, and left.
Yep.
I did not do anything because I'm gonna come back home and shower and do all that stuff. Yeah, so it's literally just you getting off of your bed.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that a lot of people can take away from, and I don't know if you guys do this, but I was watching a video, and the guy basically said that a way to wake up really early in the morning is putting your phone far away from you. Some people can't wake up on that, but I know myself, I can. Putting your phone far away from you and putting a bottle of water beside it, because when you wake up, first of all, that means you have to actually get out of your bed to stop your alarm. Number 2, you can drink water right away, and that actually helps you wake up.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's the thing that you can start doing if you struggle.
Yeah.
with
I drink tea with mint.
So for before I even go into my mental goals, actually that I did that for a while, and then I went straight back to bed. So what I actually did was even went one step further. I got Google Home.
Yeah.
And you have to yell at that shit to stop ringing. Because sometimes
Google,
it's like, hey
stop.
Google, hey Google, and it's not listening to me.
Yeah.
So by the time I've tried to shut it up for like 5
You're
times,
awake.
I'm awake,
Yeah.
and then I can go drink my water. But anyway, back to my mental goals. For me, it's enduring pain. So for the first time this year, I ran 10K, and I'm training for a half marathon this summer.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's nothing to do with physical. It's just all mental. I want to push myself to the limit in terms of mental pain. And I did this 6 a.m. gym thing. I actually did 4 a.m. gym thing. I realized that's not great because I didn't get enough sleep and it affects my work and my focus. So push that. Now we're back. We're waking up at 5 now.
Sleep is so crucial.
Very important.
Crucial.
Especially if you want focus, it's very
Productive
crucial.
day. You
Yeah,
can't have a productive day without sleep.
exactly.
Don't depend on caffeine, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying that as I just finished drinking.
Do you know how
coffee.
crazy? No, but do you know how
So,
crazy
yeah.
it is? Like during school, I'll tell people because I don't drink coffee. I haven't had
Yeah,
a
me
single
too.
cup of coffee through university. I don't drink caffeine, and everyone has the same response. Like, what? How do you get by? How do you get during? Like, how do you get through a day? And then everyone's like, oh, just wait till we become an adult. I'm working now. I'm working a full-time job, and it's the same thing. Like I don't know. I just don't feel like you shouldn't need to depend on caffeine because as soon as you do, that's where you start getting problems.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you start getting in a loop of.
It's a drug. It's a drug.
The problem is too, like it's so like acceptable and accessible, man. I remember my first year. I was in college at Fanshawe, man. And this will be very quick, but at that point they had like a bunch of self-serve Tim Hortons, right? So like you literally can go and make
Western
it yourself. Western has the one, yeah, UCC, but man, they had like 3 or 4 in at Fanshawe, right? So like you literally would go. I'd go down one hallway. I'd come in for school, grab a coffee. Between my lecture, you have a 10-minute break. Grab a coffee. Between the 2 classes, grab a coffee. Just
And they're free too. Like a lot of them, like, oh, there's coffee outside. It's free. When you go to meetings and stuff, it's like, oh,
right. It's right there. It's right in front of you. And then you realize, man, I can't even just sit down and focus middle of the day when I should have the most energy or whatever.
Yeah.
Without a coffee. So I started. That's when I cut it off for a little bit, and I cut for actually a long time. I cut it off, and then Nescafe, got delicious. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so kind of a thing that I kind of know your thoughts a little bit on this, Mohamed, but I think it'd be interesting to bring up. So what are your thoughts on New Year's resolutions? Obviously basically everyone makes New Year's resolutions, everyone in the world. And obviously January 1st is a good mental and psychological reset. I think psychological reset more than anything. It's just a good way for people to just January 1st, everything's going to go back, not back, everything's changing. Again, I know a little bit your thoughts. I kind of want to delve into that.
Okay. So we've talked about it before. It's an issue I have with that. The reason is people are so stagnant throughout I don't want to see like the last half, the entire year. So people are so stagnant, and to kind of break that down to simpler language is complacent, or they stay in one spot and they're hoping for this big miracle for it to happen, whether it's to get them out of debt, to help them get through school, whatever it is, help them, lose weight or help them go to the gym, whatever. They're waiting for something so big to strike them, so major that it fuels a fire under them. And for some reason, that something has been connected to the first of the year. Somehow, the date, January 1st, for some reason. And by all means, if January 1st motivates you, and that's what changes your life and makes you, the person that you want to become, the person you want to see in the mirror, by all means, go ahead, and I hope and I pray to God that you achieve all those goals. But don't make that your focus. Don't make that your start date. Don't surround your entire initiative, all these ideas you have in your head, everything. If people just kind of tapped into their potential, man, and I swear to God, I actually mean that. Your potential can be tapped into by hard work, by just focusing down on one thing, and by making a plan. And what did I just exclude there? I didn't doing all those only on January 1st, starting January 1st. You start that as soon as you start writing that your plan on paper, start executing. That moment, that day, that second, you start mentally, whether it's mentally or physically going to the gym or just mentally starting to drop a plan, that's your start date. It could be February 27th, April 18th, whatever day it is.
Yeah. August 21st.
August 21st, August
December
2nd. You can name every day of the year, brother. But I'm saying to you, don't. I hate people that place this crazy important. First of the year, I'm gonna change my whole life. Sure, do it, man. I pray to God that you do, but don't wait till the first of the year to do it, man. That's and don't make that your benchmark.
My thing is I think change comes from within. So I don't think that as people, as entrepreneurs, we should rely on all these external factors like January 1st or people celebrating for all of a sudden to start to initiate change. For me, I actually prefer to start 2 weeks before, or even the first 2 weeks of December, when you have this lull where it's like school is just about to break, exams are about to start for some people, for a lot of people, they're planning their winter plans, right? Yeah. That's the time when you actually should take a step back, reflect on everything you've accomplished that year, and start goal setting for the next year, and then start implementing, like you said, on that same day, so that by the time January comes, you've already implemented that change, and that way it's easier for that change to remain consistent. Because I find that with New Year's resolutions, sure, it is a monumental day for some people, and with what Mo said, if it works for you, it works for you. However, I think if you just start it based off of the external factors that everyone's setting up New Year's resolutions, because it's also a cultural thing. You go to any place and they're like, Happy New Year's. Okay, what's your New Year's resolution? So there's a lot of external sources and people also going through the same change. But I am of the mindset that change comes from within. Change starts from me first. So why don't I focus on changing from inside? And then when January 1st is just an amplification of that change.
Yeah, that's beautifully put, by the way.
Yeah,
you're
so
welcome.
For me, actually, I've had I wouldn't say I've ever had a problem with it, but for me, I'm either extreme. I'm an extreme guy, so I'm either, if we're not doing it, I'm not gonna do jack shit. If people are doing, say I'm working in a team and people are doing halfway, I'm not gonna do it. Or if everyone's in it, I'm gonna go all out. So the thing is, say if I set a goal in the beginning of the year and I'm going 7 days straight, 8 days straight, 9 days straight, if I go up till even the 40th day and the 41th day I miss it, that's where it's over, and I need to change that mentally for me. And also another thing about New Year's, my mental reset is every Monday. So say if that 41th day is a Thursday, I'm Monday I gotta start again, which I also need to change, because I like what Mo said in terms of as soon as you think it, that's when you should start it. So I should be starting that Thursday. Another thing is on New Year's, it's actually kind of funny. People say, I'm going to start this on New Year's. So for example, I'm going to lose weight. A lot of people choose that. That's one big goal. I'm going to lose weight on starting January 1st. But what are they doing on January 1st? They're drinking, they're partying, and they're not doing anything that's good for their health. And they're saying they're going to lose weight on January 1st when they're going to wake up hangover the next day. Hungover, sorry. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. So yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to touch. Actually, man, Jacob. The thing is, I recognize something that I don't want to fix, but I want to kind of key into more. When I say that the moment you think it started, I think that's where a lot of people get confuzzled or they get really
confuzzled.
Yeah, it's a good word, right?
Yo, this is big words only, by the way. We're only
using big words.
We're not. Yeah,
the vocabulary is.
That's how it works from now on.
Okay,
but extravagant words, not big words.
Yeah, what is that? What big is not a.
But to key back into it, that's why a lot of people kind of get confused or very stuck in this place where they want to see that initial action. When I say you think about it, start it, you can start your goal in so many different ways. If your goal is to lose whatever weight, you starting doesn't have to necessarily be that moment, get your ass up and go to the gym. You starting could literally be as simple as, okay, let me draw up my gym plan. Okay, I'm going to do 3 sets of this. I'm going to eat this way. Have you moved? Have you actually acted upon that physically? No. Have you set yourself up to the point where when it comes time to act upon that physically, you're going to make it 10 times easier because you don't have to sit there and waste that time where you can be using it physically to brainstorm those ideas? Yes. Therefore, what have you done? You've started. You've started your goal the moment you thought about it. And I think people should take not pride, but they should, that's something that should help them stay motivated. That's like, you don't have to, everything doesn't happen overnight, man. That's the big thing. I hope we can touch on that in the future. Just overnight success. It's not a real thing, man. You have to develop. You have to develop and go through it.
It's a 10-year night.
My thing.
You understand what I said?
Yeah. Anyways, my thing, man, I find, and sorry to anyone who kind of like takes offense to this, but like I find New Year's resolutions like bullshit.
Whoa.
It is.
Like I find them,
guys.
Wow, man.
No, I'm just saying. Like I find them so stupid. If the biggest reason I think why I find them so stupid is because. Say for example, we brought up a lot. Like say whatever, like you want to fix your finances, you want to quit smoking, you want to lose weight. You will not change if you don't actually have a specific reason to change. Mm-hmm. If you don't specifically, like if you don't see the actual problem with, like if you're waiting to January 1st to fix a problem, then there's something wrong. If you say for example so let's bring up quick, like for example, someone wants to quit smoking. If you say, hey, January 1st, I'm going to quit smoking. First of all, I understand that, yes, it's a really good psychological reset. It's easy to measure. It's easy to measure January 1st because say your goal is I want to get whatever. I want to quit smoking. I want to quit drinking. I want to whatever goal you have. It's a lot easier to measure. Hey, January 1st. Till May 1st, that's whatever, 5 months, right? It's easy to do that because it's harder to do like February 39th to January 92. You know what I mean? Like it's harder, right?
It's okay. Our friend unfortunately didn't take a class on the calendar, the Roman calendar.
It's harder. I get it. It's harder, right? But at the same time, if you don't see the actual problem with why do I want to stop smoking because it's bad for my health, why do you need a month say you figure that out December, half of December, and you go, okay, this is going to be my New Year's resolution. Why do you need 2 weeks, 3 weeks to stop that bad habit?
To add to that, like I think the source of the motivation matters the most. Like in psychology, there's intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. So for example, like let's say if you go to class, because if you go to class, like your mark's gonna be higher, or like you're gonna score higher, or like the prof either gives you some sort of reward. Yeah. That is extrinsic motivation, and like studies have shown that like extrinsic motivation you can only do for so long.
For sure. Yeah.
Before someone's like, okay, like I don't really actually want to do this, right? But intrinsic motivation is a lot more powerful and a lot more long lasting.
School's a perfect example. Literally, first year, you're so gassed because you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited for school.
So like you're actually motivated internally.
But then second year, third year, fourth year, you want to get the fuck out of school. You're like, oh, I hate this. Like it's the most stupid.
So
thing
like
in the world.
for anyone who's trying to actively change, I think the first thing you need to do is assess your motivation and your why, because your why, and depending on how strong it is, that is what is going to allow you to actually continue that change. Yeah. For example, if like I want to, have a better body so I can actually have a better business mind, like my why is deep, because then I'm like having a better business mind affects our business, affects our whole financial independence and journey to like financial freedom, right? So then I'm going to take it seriously because like my why is strong enough to keep me motivated, even on days when I wake up, it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and like I don't want to get up out of bed. Right. So first things first, anyone who's trying to enact change, figure out what type of motivation you have and try to make it intrinsic motivation rather than extrinsic motivation. If you're going to the gym just because your spouse, your partner is doing it, that's not a good enough reason. No. Right. No. If you're trying to smoke just because of any external sources, sure. Like
if you want to stop smoking because your parents.
But like until that motivation comes from inside, change might not happen, and even if it does, it will not be long lasting.
And also a thing that I think like people, the issue with a lot of things that happen is when you mess up, say you have a resolution, right, and you end up messing up a day or a week, people let that affect their whole year for some reason. I think that's something that people should really
when you fall down and like you
people really need to focus on. On like just because you had a bad day, you had a bad month, there's 12 months in the year. There's still so much time for you, even if you had a shitty week, who cares? Like every day is a new day. Like how you said that you reset on Monday. That is a thing that really, I'm not even gonna lie, I do that too. I have a diary, and I have a to-do list that I reset every Monday. Right? It's a thing that, and same thing with the gym. Like a lot of times I'll go, okay, I'm gonna start Monday morning. the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that it's a thing that you need to be able to discipline yourself to reset every day.
Yeah.
Every day is a reset, right? Like, you know how psychologically January 1st is reset for the whole world? You need to discipline yourself and
every day is January 1st, bro.
Like,
every day is January 1st. I love that.
Shitty day,
or even Monday.
Didn't work out that day. Just move on. Find, okay, if it's something that will affect your week, let it affect your week. Sure, have it in that week, but don't let it move forward to the next week, the next month, because then it will not leave you till 2021, 2022. It's going to be the same shit. You're going to have the same issues.
And that goes back to what we talked about earlier, is to just sit down and just to give people more of a practical way to do that, is just sit down with yourself, see where you went wrong. Talk to yourself,
reflect.
Man, everybody thinks that that these resolutions and these plans are going to go, so smooth, just like one go. My guy, it doesn't matter if you mess up a million times, but it's called growth. It's called 100%. Growth. And messing up is a good thing. Embrace it.
All right, so we've mentioned all these goals are all great and whatever, but it's a new decade. So what's your goals for 2030? What's 2030 looking for you guys? And what do you plan to get done by 2030?
10 years from now?
No, 2 years from now. Yes, 10 years from now.
The sarcasm's real, this one. Anyways.
So, 10 years from now, I want to be financially free. I want to be financially independent. I want to be in control of my life. And part of that is, of course, figuring out like my finances, making sure that I'm in a position where I'm no longer, focused on myself. It's more I'm focused on giving, right? And adding value like outwards, right? So my goal with these next 10 years is, of course, to like find that stability. And then once that stability is reached, switch over and just start helping a lot of people. Relationships, I definitely want, hopefully, like, I'm able to settle down so that at least like on a relationship standpoint, like I probably got a family going or whatever, right? And outside of that, health as well. I want to be a lot more healthy in my 30s than I am right now in my 20s. So habits, and I think it's starting now.
My goal, honestly, in the next 10 years, I want to say even 5 years, I always say my family is everything to me. So to equip them with the knowledge that thankfully I've been equipped and continue to acquire. I want to kind of build a knowledge portfolio that they can pick up and learn about and kind of get them to kind of be able to use that in whatever aspect of their life. Yeah, something easily accessible and something that's very relatable to them and applicable, easily applicable to whatever aspects of their life they want to use that for. I do at some point in my life, hopefully within the next 10 years, to build kind of an Al Nawari Estates type thing, like something like,
Al Nawari Estates.
Yep. I'm being serious about that too.
Do you know what that means? Al Nawari Estates?
Yes, Al Nawari Estates. Yes, I do.
Does it mean?
It's a big plan.
Estate. Do you know what an estate is?
Well,
could mean there's two different.
not in terms of. Okay. Anyways. But that's definitely one of my big things. It is. I don't know where States. It's gonna watch. You're laughing at it now, but this is my motivation. But aside from that, also like 10. Basil brings this up all the time. 10 years is a long time. I just know that for a fact. I want to be able to be financially free. I want to be able to set my family and my close friends and anybody that brings value to me. Hopefully, I can return that value 10 times more over. And then. This is not something I mention a lot, but like I want to be able to impact the people back home in my country in Sudan. There's so much. Shout out Khartoum, shout out Durman, shout out Jazeera, shout out Jiddi Masad. Allah yatiq al-afiyah.
Just Khartoum.
That's my grandpa. Anyways, just there's a lot of potential in the world, and I feel like knowledge is something I can take to any country, any province, anywhere. And it can be applied. So hopefully I can bring that to them.
Awesome.
Mine is just like Mohamed said. I say this all the time. Like 10 years is a long time. Literally, if you look at the difference between me last year,
1 year is a long time.
and this year, like it's crazy. I've learned a lot. And if you asked me a year ago what my plan is, I would have said I just want to graduate engineering, get my PEng, and then just move to Dubai and just become an engineer. It's literally it.
I have a joke. because you didn't have 20/20 vision.
I think we're gonna cut that part out. Anyways, I'll
restart.
I'll restart. So my goal. So, anyways, yeah. But that now, like literally a year later, my goals are completely different for the next couple of years, right? So, my biggest thing is 10 years from now, I obviously hopefully do want to have a family.
Cute.
I'll be 31. 31's I feel like a decent age.
A little Basil's running out that. You know?
Yeah, 2 of them hopefully that are athletic, and I can get them to play soccer. That's basically. But no, and then my main thing is just I just want to be happy, honestly. Like, even the thing is with financially free, obviously the goal is to be financially free as soon as you can, right? Within the next 2-3 years. Even if I'm not though, honestly, I'm not gonna be. That's not gonna be something that I'm like gonna be disappointed about, because if I'm not financially free, so again, financially free is literally just you being able to make money, like through investments or through a business or through something where you don't actually have to work.
Lazy income.
Yeah, lazy income, something like that, basically. So I want to be able to. So again, even if I'm not financially free, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing, I'm fine. Even if it ends up me like, even if this whole real estate thing doesn't work out and like I end up just being an engineer, or I end up staying with TD or something like that. As long as I'm happy with where I am and how my life is, that's my biggest goal. I just want to do that and just impact as many people as I can. If I can impact the amount of people I want to impact in the next 10 years, hopefully if I can impact a small group within every year, like that's going to be a lot of groups. And again, that's something that I think brings great joy and great like that brings happiness to myself, and I'll be happy with the way my year, again, even if I can make a difference in one person's life within the next 10 years, I'll be good.
All right, Jacob.
So for me, 10 years from now, I'll be 31. I'm not looking to be married then yet, or no kids, obviously.
He's holding off, ladies.
Yeah.
Tell his girlfriend that.
Other than that, every year I want to actually change someone's life. I'm actually starting this year in a couple hours. I want to change someone's life, one person a year. Mm-hmm. Even if it's
plug it. What are you doing?
I'm training someone.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a plug.
Yeah.
If anyone needs a personal trainer.
No, I'm not. I'm not a certified personal trainer.
Certified. If you want an uncertified,
professional trainer,
fake professional certified trainer,
come to me.
And there goes your credibility.
But anyway, I'm not saying come to me for personal training. I mean, like whatever I can offer to anyone, that's whatever I have, whatever assets I have and what I do. I want to help one person a year. That'll be 10 people in the next 10 years. And also I want to have the mentality of totally committed, fully unattached, where I am happy, or sorry, not happy. I don't get frustrated with the result, whether it be good or bad, but I am totally committed no matter what. So I'm always working towards the goal of where I'm trying to achieve.
Something at least.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that will overall make me happy, because obviously, like I really like the Buddhist culture where they almost forgive even the most tragic events that happen in their life. Mm-hmm. So that's where I want to be in terms of my life.
I was gonna make a point about spirituality. Did you?
No, go.
Sorry, my apologies. I was gonna make a point about spirituality, man. That's why when I was saying like the whole I want to affect people back home and everything, meant that, you know, obviously from Buddhist Islamic culture to like Islamic religion to like, man, it's fulfilling something that no one can give you a certificate or a paycheck or anything that's big enough to kind of justify it, right? It's something that, you know, you're almost fulfilling your purpose in life. It's beautiful, and value and knowledge, those are things that they cost very little. They are worth a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can bring that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, like, I think we've all like summarized those points pretty well. So like segueing for final takeaways.
We'll do round table takeaways. We can start with Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
we'll do takeaway and a value added top like thing to the viewers.
Something to add value and a takeaway.
All right.
Oh no, wait, are we doing that? Oh no, the takeaway. Actually, no.
That
Takeaway
is
for
takeaway.
people. Yeah. Never mind.
So
takeaway for
number one takeaway is actually hit the like button and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening on your Spotify, share it with your mom and
your father.
No, that will be the next podcast.
Okay.
Share it with your dog this time as well. And and
Apple Podcast leaves a review.
Of course, yes, and Spotify as well.
5-star rating, please.
Yeah, and proper takeaway. Man, there's so much to take away from this podcast. You know what? One of you go ahead. I can't even think of a takeaway right now, honestly.
Yeah. So we briefly spoke about New Year's resolutions and change. So one key takeaway for me is that don't wait however many weeks or for the new year to change. Change starts now. If there's something you've been meaning to try out, if there's, if you've been interested in jumping into investing, if there's, an idea out there that you've been holding off and waiting for, a fresh new start to like jump on the idea, don't wait, start it right now. And my second kind of key thing is find out your why and where your motivation is coming from. Make sure that your motivation and your why is intrinsic. It comes from inside of you and it's strong enough to push you through even those times where you'll fall down, because you definitely will fall down in your path to like success, but it's not, whether you fall down or not, it's how you pick yourself back up that defines you as a person.
And having a strong why will actually allow you to do that.
Exactly.
My key takeaway from today would have to come from, I'm not sure which one of you guys brought this up, but in terms of, well, actually, I think it was Basil. In terms of just the overall happiness and your overall, not content, but your how you feel about yourself overall, and how you see your progress and how you kind of feel about that internally, right? A lot of self-worth. A lot of people find their self-worth through their progress or through their achievements and everything like that. And I feel like your self-worth shouldn't depend on that. It should just depend on, your small little things, small little progressions, happiness, if you can make the people around you happy. One thing I will give to everybody is this. It relates to that. It's give yourself credit for the little things. I'm a person that's fueled. I'm a person that's fueled by that type of thing. I'm very, like, when I see progress by myself, when I see something that has helped me progress, I'm very motivated. I go at whatever I'm doing 10 times harder. So the small wins are still wins. Don't discount them. Don't think of them as lesser. And rather than just be happy and celebrate them, use them as your fuel for your next lap.
I was gonna say mine, but I actually think that's a really, really good point. That's something I'm hopefully gonna try and adopt too, because I feel like I don't do that enough.
You don't. I'll tell you that from straight up. You don't. You're my boy, bro. I'm telling you straight up.
No, I know. My biggest thing is, again, there was a lot that we talked about, but like I think for me, the only way you can grow is if you're mentally all there, I think. And again, I was never a huge believer in, like, not huge believer, but I kind of discredited like mental illness and mental health and all that stuff. And then I guess the end of 2019, I don't know why I feel like I sound like depressed or something. I'm not. Like, thankfully I've never really had any issues with like mental health, for the most part. But I think that it's really important starting off the year, knowing that anything that's happened in the past, anything that's happened last year, anything that's happened literally yesterday, a week ago, whenever you're listening to this, like, it doesn't matter, because every day is a new one, right? Again, even if you need it to let it affect you, even if it's like a week thing, don't let it fall into your next week, your next month. That you will be struggling for the whole year if you let small things affect your brain and affect your mental health, because mental health is a thing that everyone, because it doesn't matter. Mental health is just the health of your mind, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or if it's bad. It's mental health regardless. You will see a negative downturn in your mind if you let small things affect you, and the more you do that, the worse, like the shittier year you'll have, the less productive year you'll have. So I think not letting things seep into your next week, your next month, your next day is the only way you're going to be able to progress throughout this year.
Well said.
I got a key takeaway finally now.
All right, let's do it.
Don't get carried away with any hustle porn. And that carried me away last year to the point where my work was even, like, I wasn't as productive as I could be due to lack of my physiological health, which affects obviously my mental health.
Yeah.
So don't get carried away with that. Pace yourself. You have 60, 70 years to, I still have 60, 70 years to live on average. Yeah, hopefully. So pace yourself. Like, you don't need success today, tomorrow, next week, or even next year. It could come within the next 10 years. And
pace yourself.
So yeah, essentially pace myself and be more patient with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll end off there. Again, this is our first ever episode. So let us know if there's some things you want to listen to more, some things if we need to work on some things you enjoyed. Leave a comment what your goals are for the year, if you have any New Year resolutions, anything like that. And hopefully we'll be putting these out every week, every Sunday. So,
and I actually have a challenge for you guys. Try and hit the like button with your nose.
Stop, man.
You ever see those Instagram posts? Try to type the name, whatever, with your elbow.
Anyways, but what's it called? Yeah, so always like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's things you want to listen to, things you want to see. And we will see you next week.